Alright, I'm going to show you version 2 of my cooling system mod for my Traxxas Spartan. It involves a Speedmaster dual pickup rudder with a 4-inch setback, dual lines, and aluminum motor jacket. It turned out pretty nice, but I kind of want to start off with saying that you don't have to do all this. If you want your Spartan to run cool, you can actually modify the stock rudder. Just open up the inlet on there. I'll show you a little tidbit of what mine was and then why I replaced mine, but I'll show you that first. This is the stock rudder. You can modify this rudder. You just have to drill that hole out. It's very small from the manufacturer. I don't know what the issues are, but that hole is too small. Having trouble focusing on it. There you go. Now you can see that butcher job. But yeah, you make that hole bigger. I suggest you don't do it the way I did it, and you know, this right here, don't go through that. I mean, it works, but it doesn't look good. So just be gentle when you're opening up that hole. I got a little carried away. I ran my boat like this, and it stayed cool. I didn't have any issues with heat, but I didn't want to have that on my boat. I'm picky. So I decided to go with version 2 of this, and it was to go with a dual pickup rudder. The reason I went with the dual pickup rudder is so there's separate cooling for the motor and the ESC. Some people have talked about mounting a little transom pickup, you know, like back here somewhere to pick up the water. And that's a good idea, and that'll work. The reason I don't like it is because every little thing you put down in your boat is going to add drag. It's going to slow you down. My theory is this is already in the water. It's already adding drag. Why not utilize it to be a part of the cooling system? Okay. Anyways, here's the Speedmaster rudder. That's the one I got. It's got a 4-inch setback, just a little bit more than the stock one, but that's what I opted for. When you go to mount this, I'll try and show all this. It originally comes with a bracket that's squared, and then there's a hole in the middle right here. This is that bracket. It's just, I cut it right here, and I cut it right there. And took that part off, so that allows for the push rod and boot, you know, to go through and not have any obstructions. This bolt, this hole, is that was where the stock cooling line went through. I utilized that as the first part. So if you decide to do this and do it like this, this will be a key to placement, because you just put that in there and then level it out, square it, drill your other 2 holes, and then your transom bracket's on there, and then you're on your way. Over here is where the stock holes were. You can see just an edge of the stock hole underneath this rudder mount. It's right there. When I mounted this, I used some RTV silicone sealant to mount it and seal everything, make sure there's no leaks. And then, like I said, you're gonna have to also trim this rudder. It's originally like 6 1/4 inches long or so, so it was way down there. I trimmed it down, and now it's just 1/2 inch longer than what the stock rudder was on how it sits on the boat. Inside the hull, this is the reinforcing I did. Use these bars believe these were bars off of a servo I had for part of a mount. I just used them in the boat. This one looks like it's touching over here. I'm pretty close to the rudder push rod, but it's not. It's just close. It's not touching at all, and actually helps keep that boot on there now. Not that it was a big issue of it coming off, but you know, just in case. This I didn't put any bars on because that's where the stock cooling line came through, and it's got a thicker piece of plastic right there, so I felt like that was enough reinforcement. And ran the cooling lines. This is a 1/4 inch outer diameter and an 1/8 of an inch inner diameter silicone tubing lines. Good stuff. That's how I ran it. It's aluminum cooling jacket. I love it. It keeps the motor cool, plus I don't got to worry about it expanding and then leaking, because I had a problem with the stock jacket leaking in the boat. I would run the boat on the 6S LiPo for, you know, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, and bring the boat back, and there's a cup or more of water in my boat, and then it's sprayed everywhere in here, even under the canopy. So I replaced it. Now I run the boat. I've got less than probably a teaspoon of water in my boat. I love it. There's the stock water outlet. What I used for a water outlet on the other side of the boat. This is a Gundert water pickup. There's 2 holes, like an in and an out, but they both just shoot straight out. This is designed to go on the bottom of a hole to pick up water, but I figured I'd use it as a water outlet. So I'm using this hole, and then this forward hole, I've plugged it so that I don't have to worry about water or anything getting in, say if I flip or whatever. Let's hope not. If you don't have bars or anything like that to use, you could probably use washers on this. That might do it. I don't know if it would give enough area displacement or not. Hopefully, the other option would you could use some epoxy. Just make sure you sand it down and give that epoxy something to adhere to. Well, I guess that's about it. That's my boat. Well, one of them. Thanks.